Just finished my second 9-day retreat at Nimea Kaya, and wow, I first heard about ayahuasca about 5 years ago from a friend, and watched a documentary on it, and it really piqued my interest. Something that I thought would be really beneficial to me once I started doing some research on it. And my friend was very interested as well, so he found this beautiful retreat here at Nimea Kaya for us. And one of the best decisions of my life, definitely, to come here. During my whole life, I've had trauma like everybody has. My father left at a very young age, and my mother was in a severe car accident when I was 5 years old. So even though she survived, I kind of lost her then too. So that caused me a lot of pain as a kid growing up. And I built up defenses around it, ways to deal with it and cope with it. And then when I was 20 years old, I had a daughter. And I just wasn't ready, and I kind of ran away. And I'm 36 now, and it's just been the cause of a lot of pain in my life. So I ended up using drugs and alcohol and just different ways to hide the pain and mask the pain and escape from reality. And so I definitely thought that this would be something that would be very, very beneficial to me. So I came from my first retreat about 1.5 years ago, and it just really put a lot of love in my heart and showed me that everything is okay. And we put so much pressure on ourselves in society, and it gets heavy. So I came from my first retreat, and it was really great. And this place, Nimea Kaya, is so beautiful, in the jungle, in the Amazon. The people are great here, the facilitators, the shamans. The food is absolutely delicious. The people you meet here in the groups with you, you do a lot of work with them together, and you really become family. I mean, quicker than you could imagine. And especially by the end of it all, once you've gone through that with a group of people, you develop bonds for life. And so my first ceremony was great, and I went back out into the real world, and I had a rough breakup right after I left here. So it's kind of been a rough year for me, been a little over a year since my first time I was here. And so about the past 6 months, I've been really thinking about coming back, and things really kind of started falling into place, and the universe conspired in my favor to be able to make it back here. And wow, yeah, this is the last day of the 9-day retreat, and it's just been everything I could have imagined and more. I think right before I came here, this time I opened a bottle of some organic juice, and underneath the cap it had a quote, and it said, "A ship in the harbor is safe, but that's not what ships were built for." And that really resonated with me. And that's exactly what it is, We're all ships, and then if you stay in the harbor, you're never gonna sail. You're never gonna get out there in the world and go through the storms and survive. You really have to put yourself out there sometimes, and to really grow. Growth and change is uncomfortable, and it's scary, but the rewards are just there's no words to describe the feeling of peace after you finish one of the retreats here. It's just brought me a lot of clarity in my life, and it's shown me that we all have the tools inside of us. We just have to learn how to use them. And Mother Ayahuasca really shows you the path. You know, she won't do it for you, but she'll light the way. She'll light the way for you, and it's up to you to follow it. But the tools they give you here at Nimea Kaya are just everything you need to get back out there and realize that the world is just love. And yeah, and so the whole retreat itinerary here is just wonderful. You know, I'm sure it's been developed over the years, and they've kind of perfected it. Like I said, the food is all plant-based and organic and comes straight from the jungle. And you do a dieta before you come here for at least 2 weeks, but you know, you should do it for as long as you can before. This time I did it for a little bit longer, 3 weeks to a month. And you just feel your body feels clean, you have more energy, you raise your vibration, you're just vibrating with the life of the great food, and then it just continues here, and it's even better than most options you can find before you come here. And then there's yoga classes, and I'm someone who's always wanted to do yoga, and I was just like, I should sign up for a yoga class, but I just never got around to it. And my first retreat here was my first introduction, the first yoga class I ever did, and I just fell in love. And they do it right in the morning usually, so it's a great way to wake up. And they usually have some pretty great yoga teachers here. And they have meditation classes, which is something I've always struggled with. I'm a very social person and very outgoing usually, and it's really good. It teaches you to kind of go inside and sit with your thoughts a bit, and they usually have that a few hours before each ceremony, so it really helps you get in the right headspace. We do a trip to down the river to a village or a school, and to see the joy on these little kids' faces. And the Shipibo people are just wonderful people, always smiling. They're great to be around. And the Shipibos are where the shamans come from that we use in our ceremonies, and they're just so healing and loving. And I can't even really put it into words. You really have to experience it for yourself. So if you're having any doubts about anything, just go for it. It's scary. It is. And it's hard to make that decision to come all the way to South America and put yourself out there, because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable spot. But that's what you need. That's what we all need to grow and change. It's so easy to remain stagnant and stay in those vicious cycles, even though it hurts you inside. It's just, it's easy. But nothing good really came from anything easy. You gotta put in the hard work in anything in life. And that's another thing. This whole thing is kind of like a microcosm for life in general. It's like, if you can, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, some of the ceremonies are really tough. Like I said, it's what you need, and life is really tough sometimes, but you only grow through the tough times once you survive those storms in order to see the rainbow. I just have such a feeling of peace right now, and I know I have the tools to go back out into the world and do all the great things I know I was meant to do. They have a really great support system here, even when you are here. All the facilitators are great, and Jill and Casey, and the kitchen staff. Everybody from the bottom to the top, the grounds guys. We do a plant walk, which is great. You get to learn about all the plant medicines in the jungle, and there is a cure, or at least a medicine for any type of ailment, whether it be emotional or physical. in the jungle. That's what nature gives us. It's nature's gift to us. Food is medicine. Plants are medicine. One of my big things is I was raised in a family with all women. I never had a guy around growing up, so I've always been very in touch with my feelings. Not afraid to cry or give hugs out to anybody. And a lot of guys in particular really struggle with that. In society, we're taught guys gotta be manly and strong, and you can't hug another guy or show your emotions. And I really believe that's a huge reason for all the wars and all the domestic violence and things in the world. And it's because guys are taught you can't show your emotions. I'm showing you right now. Guys are just taught that and they hold it all inside, and it builds up and it festers, and that negative energy becomes physical ailments and emotional and psychological disorders, and I really feel like it all stems from that. And Mother Ayahuasca is like the divine feminine, it's the spirit of the jungle, and she really just shows you that it's okay to wear your emotions on your sleeve and to feel. Feeling feels good. Even when emotions hurt, it just feels good to feel them and let them out and process them. And this place really, really lets you do that. Not that I had a problem with that before, but I mean, and it's not just the healing you get from the ayahuasca yourself and from this experience yourself. It's watching other people grow and heal themselves. And I mean, you see people come so far. And this being my second time, it was like I kind of knew more what to expect this time around, so I kind of had a different perspective, and it helped me to be helpful to everybody in the group to help them get over their fears. And just from day 1 to day 9, the growth is just, you really have to see it for yourself. It's a miracle. It's magical. It's beautiful.